Exactly a year ago, past President Jason Herbold and I stood in front of you, and we shared with you the club's 3 priorities. And I'm going to share a visual with you that we shared a year ago. And those 3 priorities were people, programming, and purpose, driven by conversations and understanding, all grounded in the Rotary 4-way test. And we had that visual of those 3 pillars making it turn. And some of you might have thought that this was creative to go with the PPP acronym. Others of you saw right through that. A couple bankers in our PTSD having just survived the Paycheck Protection Program. Nonetheless, that's where we landed, and I'm grateful that we did. It allowed us to point the way forward with those 3 pillars in mind. And let's start with people. We'll get to our people slide. Active, engaged members are vital for the success of Rotary, any Rotary club. And for 100+ years, Downtown Rotary has brought influential leaders together. Relationships have been formed, and you, our members, are creating a lasting impact. Over the past 12 months, where have we been? We asked you to invite other leaders to join us on this journey. And you stepped up big time. I had a stretch goal of 60 new members. We closed in on 50, which was fantastic. That's back-to-back years of 50 new members, which gives us great momentum and opportunity in the year ahead. So we're currently at 318 members, which puts us the 2nd highest in our club's recorded history. That also places us the 22nd largest club in the world. I want to say thank you for encouraging and inviting high-quality, service-oriented individuals to come along with us on this journey. Special thanks to Laura Mitchell, who led our membership committee, Jen Hazing, who chaired our engagement committee, and Kayla Etram, who coordinated our junior Rotarians. It was great to have our junior Rotarians back after a year off. Next, we're going to talk programming, possibly. If you want to move that slide forward, John, that'd be great. You know, programming is why you come or don't come on a Monday. That relevance, we understand, you understand, and we continue to strive to be the place where timely, relevant, important conversations happen. I'm grateful for Cindy Peterson and our programming committee, who I believe further elevated our programming over the past year. Also over the past year, we strengthened and extended our partnership with Think 3D. That's our production team. That allows us, when you're not able to be here, to receive the content online, either live or in review. So excited for that partnership to continue. We also had an all-star lineup of panelists and guests throughout the year. I'm not going to stand here and list all 40+ programs, but we did host our governor. We hosted state legislative leadership, both House majority and minority leaders. Congressman Johnson, Senator Thune, Senator Rounds, last fall, 2-time U.S. Open champion Andy North, and senior PGA golfer Rich Beam joined us at the Sanford International. We also challenged, more challenging topics like children's mental health and the complexities of suicide. We hosted 2 city council debates and featured developers that are making investments in downtown that are going to change our skyline forever. Once again, we were the place where news was made, important conversations were had, and I look forward to that programming excellence to continue this year, starting today with our mayor and Bill Zortman and continuing on. Next, purpose. That was our last P, and we continue to encourage and support Rotarians in the broader community in finding their individual calling, their purpose. As you are aware, 2+ years ago, we partnered with the City of Sioux Falls and the Helpline Center to amplify the importance of mentoring through the Sioux 52 initiative. We continue to see an opportunity to leverage the influence of this group in that manner and create a culture of mentoring within our community and within the businesses and nonprofits throughout our community. In big thanks to committed Rotarians, we made significant strides through SU 52. First and foremost, we formalized our partnership with the City of Sioux Falls and the Helpline Center through the signing of a 3-way agreement to create a half-time position at the Helpline Center. This position will create capacity, increase accountability, improve our ability to measure progress, and ensure the ongoing stewardship of SU 52 moving forward. At this time, I'm going to ask Emily Van Gorp to stand. Janet Kiddems, I'd also ask you to stand, CEO of Helpline Center. I'm grateful for these two. Janet, you've been instrumental in SU 52 since the beginning. For those of you who may not be aware, the Helpline Center has been our community connector, connecting mentors and mentees over the past 20 plus months or 2+ years. Earlier this year, the Helpline Center, we hired Emily Van Gorp, who is serving in the human resources area within the Helpline Center, but half her time going forward is going to be dedicated to helping SU 52 and allowing us increased capacity to move the initiative forward. We'll have the mayor share a little bit more on that, but I am very excited. Emily, welcome. Janet, thank you again for your ongoing commitment. And as we transition to working more closely with Emily and the Helpline Center, we are also undergoing a transition in leadership within our SU 52 steering committee here at Downtown Rotary. Past President Tony Burke, who you know has served in this capacity since its inception 2.5 years ago. He will remain involved, but Eric Erickson is going to lead us moving forward, and really excited for that. A big thank you to both Tony and Eric. You are creating a lasting impact through your dedication and the countless hours that you invested in this initiative were recognized not only by us, but by the community. And earlier this year, Downtown Rotary was named Community Partner of the Year by Lutheran Social Services in recognition for that. So thank you, Tony, and Eric, if you're here, thank you for your commitment to that. As Rotarians, you understand the importance of sending the elevator back down to ensure we're bringing others along with us, and we expect that to continue in the years ahead. Next, we have retiring board members. I see a couple of them here. I know Jason is not able to join us, but I'm going to ask Tony Burke, Pat Costello, Alex Ramirez, Jason Herbold to stand if you are with us. We're batting 250. All right. Well, the others are likely busy in other community initiatives, and honestly, that's what I wanted to say. We realize this isn't the only area where you give back, but we're grateful that you did. And those others listed there are also pulling on the rope heavily in our community. And that goes for Rotarians across the board. Your involvement here, your involvement elsewhere is recognized and appreciated. So thank you for your service, Tony, and much appreciated. Next, we are going to elect our board of directors, and there's 7 Rotarians seeking either their first, second, or third term, and they're 2-year terms here at Downtown Rotary. I'll for those that can't read those, no need to stand, but I'm going to go ahead and read those. Dr. Paul Amundson, Matt Dittmanson, Joni Ekstrom, Eric Erickson, Angie Hilstead, Bobby Tibbetts, Bob Weiser. That is our slate for Rotarians, and at this time, I would seek a motion to approve that entire slate. I think I got a first and a second there. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Same sign. Thank you, and thank you to those that have said yes to investing their time in moving this club forward. So thank you. Next, and I'm going to have to highlight some things here because that is our budget. And trust me, we put a lot of time and effort into that, and thought it would come across a little bigger than it does right now. But want to thank our board of directors, our executive committee for the time and effort that went into this. We are budgeting for 315 members at $545 per member for the coming year. That's $175,000 in revenue, supporting operational expenses of $121,000. The significant line items, as you can imagine, are the Holiday Inn, our Think 3D production team, our executive director contract. The non-operational program expenses that are ongoing include our Rotary District dues, our Rotary International dues. We make a gift to the foundation. And then a couple investments that I do want to highlight and make note of that I'm really proud of this club for. We are going to make a $10,000 investment in Sioux 52, the ongoing promotion and advocating for that initiative. And then an additional $12,500 earmarked for furthering the brand of Downtown Rotary. That's website and other things yet to be determined. We have a president-elect who's a partner at a digital marketing firm, so I'm excited for what the future holds with Eric Ellison and Cindy Peterson moving forward. But we wanted to get started on some enhancements that we see a real possibility with. So that is our budget. It's been approved by our board of directors. Really excited and feel like we have a good budget here where we're making some investments and then ensuring that we have revenue to cover our operational expenses. All right. I'm going to have to go through these one by one because I don't know that you can see them from back there. But my special thanks, our executive director. I think there were weeks that I probably talked to Angie more than I talked to some of my own family members. But we got to know each other well. I mean, you just look back at the last 2 to 3 years, and Angie being that steady voice, steady person within Downtown Rotary has done a fantastic job. Cindy Peterson, who I'll ask to come forward here, have known Cindy for years and years, and can't think of a better person to hand the gavel to here shortly. Eric Ellison mentioned, our president nominee, soon to be president-elect. Thank you for your time and effort that you've invested. Jason Herbold isn't here. He is our most recent past president and someone that worked very closely with during the early days of the pandemic, ensuring that we can continue to communicate and bring programming to you on a weekly basis. Kurt Laudenbach served as our treasurer, a member of our exec team. Kurt continues to be a steady voice for us, a big help in the budget process, and grateful for his work there. Tony Burke and Eric Erickson, we mentioned that earlier. Tip of the cap to those two for their work on Sioux 52 and leading the charge in our effort there. Kayla Etram resurrected our junior Rotarian program after probably a year and a half of not having junior Rotarians. If you're like me, you enjoy that addition to our weekly programs, and it gives you great hope in the future, hearing from those high school seniors. Laura Mitchell, you joined us here, 50 new Downtown Rotarians. Thank you for your work in leading our membership committee. We had a number of other board members, committee volunteers that stepped up throughout the year. Our Think 3D production team, and then I'll also say thank you to our 300 plus Rotarians for the encouragement, support, texts, emails throughout the year. Really grateful for the opportunity to get to know you. Moving on, we are going to move to our Larry Ritz Rotarian of the Year Award winner. And you saw the email here a couple months ago. We had 4 fantastic nominees for Rotarian of the Year. Tony Burke, Tom Dempster, Ron Milkey, and Matt Paulson. And the voting was close. It was very close. And for those that do not receive that award today, if those nominators are in in the room, I'd encourage you to nominate that individual again, because it was tough. But we did have a clear winner, and that Rotarian of the Year award winner is none other than Tony Burke. And I'm going to ask him to come forward here shortly and share a few words, but I'm going to share a few here that were in his nomination. Tony served 8 years on our board. About 5 or 6 years ago, led this club as president through a process of identifying the one relevant it, and that is the purpose that we talked about here today, the Sioux 52 Mentoring Initiative. Since the time that launched, I mentioned he has been our chair of that committee and worked tirelessly to help coordinate volunteers, community members, media, and just grateful for everything that he's done. Not only did he serve as past president, he served in leadership positions within our district, which is important for us. He represented us at the international conference here in June. And just say about Tony, he strives daily to make himself and the community better, pushing downtown Rotary beyond our comfort zone to achieve the next level of success. He's passionate, articulate, and leaving a lasting impact within the club and community. We mentioned the Lutheran Social Services designation that we received, and I attribute that to Tony's work, and I'm just excited for what the future holds. A strong foundation has been built through Tony's leadership, and with Eric and the rest of the team, I'm excited for what the future holds. So with that, Tony Burke, would you come forward and receive the Larry Ritz Rotarian of the Year Award?
Well, for those of you that know me, kind of speechless because knowing the individuals that were in that group with me, I don't feel deserving of this honoree. Those individuals have done tremendous work in our communities, so this is a shared honor to those individuals that were also nominated. God, I am speechless. Don't laugh, Mayor. You know what? None of this is done alone. I think we all know that. I think we've come together. I think looking around this room right now, I'm going to fathom a guess. This is the largest annual general meeting that we've had, which says a lot about wanting to know what's going on in the club. We can make and will continue to make a tremendous impact in our communities. We all do our part. Most often, as President Knorr mentioned, we don't do it in the name of Rotary, but we do it in the spirit of Rotary. And that's what makes this community absolutely tremendous. So I'll leave you with this is one of my favorite quotes from Wilma Rudolph is no matter what your accomplishments in life, somebody helps you. And people like Joel Dykstra, who really led the charge in this transformative change in our club, and certainly would not be without thanking heartfelt thanks to my sponsor, Jim Wilcox, for bringing me into this club. So I thank you for allowing me to be part of this. Thanks.
Congratulations, Tony. Very well deserved. Well, in closing, I want to share a quote from Isaac Newton that I believe is fitting for the spirit of today. If I have seen a little further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. And what he shared in 1676 rings true today. And I stand before you humbled for the opportunity to stand on the shoulders of the 106 years of Rotarians that came before me. And just for that, I'm forever grateful and humbled. It's been an incredible, rewarding experience and one that I will forever cherish. More than anything, I'll cherish the relationships that have been built, many of which I expect to last a lifetime. So as we look with optimism to the year ahead, we are in great hands. And I'm going to this forward. We are in great hands with Cindy Peterson and President-elect Eric Ellefson, and I could not be more excited for what our future holds. And we'll now ask Cindy Peterson to come forward to receive her presidential pin and share her vision for the year ahead. So thank you.
There are a lot of people here today, and there is a wonderful energy in the room. Thank you, Tony. Truly, thank you all. Working under Tony's leadership this past year has taught me a great deal. The amount of time that you have dedicated to this club, its members, and its mission has elevated it to an even greater impact. The thoughtfulness, the consideration, and the intentionality that comes with your leadership and your decision-making, I believe has made us all better Rotarians, and you have been a grateful friend and mentor through this entire process. And so I hope that you will help me thank and celebrate now past President Tony Knorr, and I will give him his plaque, pin, and new badge.
Thank you. We'll get that later.
And Tony Burke, congratulations. Your energy and your passion, it is such a well-deserved honor, and I've enjoyed working with you all of these many years, and I know that's not going to end just because you are stepping into a new role in our organization. So thank you for all that you've done. Past President Knorr provided a phenomenal recap of the year. What, in my mind, is a very, very special time to be a downtown Rotarian. My vision for the coming year seeks to build off of people, purpose, and programming. Essentially, those gears that we saw move, I want to keep those gears humming. Let's keep those gears going. And the first way to do that is to invite and activate more member engagement. For those of you who might not know, Rotary International has its first female president. President Jennifer Jones imagines a Rotary where members engage more with each other and use those connections to build partnerships that change the world. For us, in the past 2 years, Tony mentioned 100 community leaders and influencers have joined our club in just the past 2 years. This Rotary year, I envision offering a Rotary experience that is more than just Mondays for those who seek a more involved relationship with their downtown Rotary Club. The second way is to continue championing mentoring. SU 52 is going to hit a new gear these next 12 months with Emily. I want us to all continue elevating SU 52 in our community, but also look at how we mentor one another. There is not a professional moment in my life that I can't credit back to a mentor. Many of those folks are in the room today. How can we strengthen one another and our collective impact through mentoring? And how can we thank and celebrate the mentors who are part of our own personal and professional journey? No matter who we are or where we are in our professional career, we can always benefit from mentoring and being a mentor. Lastly, as Rotarians, we are 1.4 million strong across the world. And this club is the 22nd largest club in the world. I would like each of us to feel more connected to our global impact as Rotarians, from reciting the 4-way test as part of each meeting moving forward, to following Rotary International's worldwide initiatives more intentionally. There is an opportunity to connect the impact of our local impact to Rotary International's worldwide impact, and vice versa. So in the coming weeks and months, you're going to hear more about engagement opportunities, and you'll have an opportunity to become more involved in the club at your desired level. I am quite honored and humbled to serve as your president. I could not be more optimistic about what we will experience and accomplish together. Now, please help me welcome downtown Rotarian Bill Zortman and Mayor Paul TenHaken to the stage for our program.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And as they're settling in, Bill, I want to thank you for moderating today's conversation. And Mayor, I look forward to hearing more about your vision for the city. We're glad to have both of you here. Bill, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. First question I asked him today, were you really going to run for a second term? And you told me? It wasn't, well, it wasn't a slam dunk, man. I tell you what, we were kind of talking to the side about this, and 2020, there was two terms built into one, 2018 to 2020, and then 2020 to 22. And that year of 2020 with the pandemic, and I was just reflecting on this today. This time 2 years ago, you couldn't spit baseball seeds at our ballparks because of COVID, and it would spread. I mean, we had no freaking clue what we were doing. That year, combined with George Floyd's murder, combined with just a crazy vitriolic presidential election that, in my personal opinion, degraded public discourse tremendously. Just as when I thought about doing it again, I'm like, why am I doing it? I mean, I see my old partner, Eric, back there, like, man, left a great life, left a great company, left something I really loved doing. And so it took a lot of prayer and a lot of talking with my wife and other people in my inner circle to be like, man, do I want to keep doing this? Should I keep doing this? But a lot of times we're, called to do things that aren't always fun, and do things that maybe are for a greater cause. And so I'm very honored to be serving again. But no, it was not a slam dunk, man. Not at all.
I am going to tell a story that will make your wife very proud, that she didn't have to do what she had to do for her husband, the mayor, that was running for a second term in El Paso. He sent her to debate the opponent.
Oof.
How would that have set at home?
His ex-wife, you mean?
And she got more votes than he did on election day. There was another gentleman that was the mayor of Amarillo, where we spent 10 years. And he asked me to put together a statewide gubernatorial debate in Texas. That's a big deal. Well, he was running the campaign of a guy named Bill Clements, that became the first Republican governor in Texas in 100 years. The last one was Ma Barker. So I got a deal out of that because I got the first interview with the new governor in Texas. And it was like, gee, that was a pretty good deal.
Wow.
Then there was El Paso and Juarez that I brought together as communities. They had not worked together. Actually, the mayor of Juarez invited me over to hear his speech. 2 hours, not one word of English, and I didn't understand Spanish. That's a problem.
Big problem.
The guy that I helped the most as a mayor was in Selma, Alabama. And of course, they had that march from the Selma Bridge to Montgomery. And they decided on the 30th anniversary that they would have a 2-hour TV show, which I hosted out of Montgomery, Alabama. After the first hour, and you had the blacks and the whites that came together, the mayor said, I'm going to leave. I said, Mayor, there's the New York Times, there's CBS. What are they going to say about your town? What do you think they'll say? I said, that you couldn't take it. So he said, what am I going to do? I said, I'll help you through the second hour. he got done with the second hour and said, "You saved my town." So I've had a chance to be with a lot of great mayors. This guy's kind of he's different. He's much taller than I am. He does not wear a tie. And it was, as it turned out, I told him I almost didn't wear the tie today.
You brought a shoe game though today.
Well, these are soybean oil shoes.
Oh yeah, I know those.
From South Dakota soybeans.
You got them free, didn't you?
Just like the governor did.
I know you did. They offered me a pair of those shoes too.
Red work. So your second go around, you're big into kids. The project that Rotary has seems to be right up your alley. And with your kids, if you've seen him on stage with his kids, you know that the kids become the stars. Not the wife that has to get up and do it for him. But for the most part, your kids mean a great deal to you, and every kid in this community means a lot to you.
I love kids, man. And part of it is probably because I'm a dad, and I have a 9, 13, and 16-year-old. So I'm in the throes of life. But also because the landscape of our city has evolved so much in the last 10 to 20 years. And the kids in this community, they are a lot of them are at a precipice in terms of directions that they can go. And I think you look at a community and a community that's successful and a community that's thriving, it's a community that has historically invested in youth. They have good schools. They have good youth diversion programs for kids that are in the criminal justice system that need some help. They have good mentorship programs. And so kids and families are very, very important to me. Now, economic development and road work, and we can talk about that stuff, and that stuff will continue to happen, no matter who's in the chair over there. No one's going to not expand the wastewater plant. It's going to happen because it has to happen. But I'm not sure someone will always want to just really double down on youth and on mentoring and on some of those issues that are more societal issues that I really see as being of primary importance right now in the city of Sioux Falls. I'll give you a real example. And this is not I'm not trying to, toot our family's horn or anything right now, but we've had a 1.5-month-old for the last month. Okay. Mom had the baby in jail, and we have been fostering this child, a 1.5-month-old. Remember, I got a 9-year-old, so I have not done the diaper thing and all that in a long time. And it ain't like riding a bike, man. Mom's in jail. We get a contact. Hey, can we watch this kid? Wife reaches out to me. Paul, do you want to do this? I'm like, oh, Lord. I'm the mayor. I'm like, if we do this, honey, it's going to be on you. I can't be getting up all through the night with at this time, a 3-week-old. She's like, I get it. Yeah. I'm like, if you want to do it, let's do it. So we're doing it. And it is a grind right now. My wife was up multiple times last night. I slept on the couch down in the basement because I can't do it. I got to be on, during the day.
That's
and I share that with you.
Yeah. I got to be on during the day.
Well, I share that with you because that kid, mentoring takes a lot of different forms. That kid will never know the TenHaken family, right? Or we got this kid for a month, and then she's going to another family. But that kid is going to need people, I know already, throughout her life, they're going to have to invest in that little girl based on the hand she's already been dealt, based on what I know about her mom, based on what I know about her family situation. She's got 2 3/4 strikes against her already. And those are the things, that's why I get so passionate about mentorship and so bullish about investing in kids, because we all have time, even though we think we don't have time. Like, we can do it, if our family can, we all have some time you can invest in people. It's whether or not you want to make the time to work with your lake home, to work with your men's day at the golf course, to work with your running hobby, whatever it is. So some of these things shouldn't be last. If I have time left, then I will make time. It should be moved and prioritized. And so a little bit of a tangent, but I try to stay close to issues like that because it really keeps me passionate about kids and families when we can stay as involved as we are as a family in recognizing some of the needs in the community that we have.
A mayor, to be successful, we have to see the inner you. And we just saw you. And I think people understand a little bit better in the room his dedication to the young people and the difference that you're going to make. Because you're not thinking of just an old fart like that guy sitting over there that has a football stadium named after him, or Bill Zortman that's been in Selma, Alabama, or El Paso, wherever it is. You're thinking of the youngest people, generation to come. And where do you want to see Sioux Falls go in the next generation?
Well, I think we're at a really interesting spot as a community. You know, we just passed 200,000 people. We have about 270,000 in our MSA. We are a 9-iron from Sioux Falls city limits to T city limits. You know, I see Lincoln County Commissioner Schmidt back there. And I mean, with Harrisburg's growth, and we're becoming this regional MSA. And so there's several things that have to start happening in Sioux Falls as we keep growing. One is we have to start working more collaboratively as communities, as Harrisburg's, Brandon's, Crooks, T's, Hartford's, Sioux Falls's, because our solutions with housing, our solutions with workforce, it's not a Sioux Falls issue, and we have to kind of get rid of the zero-sum game that if Brandon scores Marmon Energy, it's like, oh, we missed that one in Sioux Falls. It's like, well, those Marmon Energy people are going to probably live here. They're going to shop here. So that's a win. So whatever we can do to help our rural communities, we want to do. The second thing, though, I think that's very important, and I talk about it a lot, is crime and public safety. And I hate to go right there, but how do you, when you have 7,000 people moving here a year, like we did last year, ensure that your crime stays manageable and that you stay a safe community? Because I can list off the communities that have the brand right now of being not safe cities in the country. And I don't know how they overcome that. It's a huge problem. And while our crime numbers, our crime per capita numbers are flat, fairly flat, there's an increase in crime. So we have about 5 to 6 violent crimes per 1,000 residents a year. Well, when you add 7,000 people, that's 35 more violent crimes you're going to have. Okay. So is crime increasing? Yeah, because our population is increasing. But it's when that per capita number starts to escalate that you got a rising crime community. And so there's a tension right now. I even see it in our downtown, as our downtown pushes east, okay, pushes east into our districts where we have a lot of social programs, social services. Did a ride along with our cops last Friday night. Multiple calls in the neighborhood we all know. And there's this tension happening right now. And so you feel a responsibility as a mayor and as a leader to address those issues, but also realizing there's certain things that are out of your control as the government, which is why we need mentors, which is why we need the church community to do their thing, which is why we need the business community to help us with some of these issues and challenges we face as we grow. So regionalization, public safety, I can talk about housing and workforce, but every Rotary club that has their mayor speaking in this country is talking about housing and workforce. It's just like, it's an issue everywhere. Are we doing things with housing and workforce? Yes. Does the next 12 months look very uncertain? Absolutely. I don't know what's going to happen the next 12 months in terms of the economy, recession, feds and interest rates, what that will do to workforce. I can tell you this, more people seem to be wanting to get into the workforce again. I don't know what's driving that. I don't know I feel that there's more houses on the market. They're not selling quite as fast. There's a slow kind of change that's happening again. So Where I see myself in this bill, and I'll shut up because I can just keep talking about this, is how do we make sure this community stays safe for kids and families, and that we become a regional community that gets along well, that we can grow together and ensure it's a safe, affordable place to live, raise a family, and retire.
Healthcare. I was tickled to death to see Avera Sanford, City of Sioux Falls Health Department, help set up the link.
Mm-hmm.
Very big deal for the city.
Yeah, I mean, if there was one issue, one overarching issue that I would say has really grown since the year of 2020, it's mental health and behavioral health. And our community is very mentally fragile. And it took that trifecta of politics, COVID, and social justice issues to just trigger people. And on top of that, and I sometimes joke about this, built a company that did social media stuff, and I hate social media. It's dividing people. It's making people, I guess, mentally fragile. It's the best way I can say it. So the link serves as a place where before, our cops would arrest someone and they would have to take them to jail, and it may be a mental health issue, so we can take them there, properly triage them, get them, put on the right path. Maybe it is a jail issue, but maybe it's not. Maybe this person needs some behavioral health treatment. Maybe they need detox. Maybe they need some medical assisted treatment, whatever it is. So we've seen over 4,000 triages, individual triages in our first year there. About 1,800 unique people that we've seen there. The story I like to tell, and I'm sorry if you've heard this, but I think it tells the story of this issue, is Mr. 57, who on his 57th time to the link, he decided to get help. And he's been sober now, and he has an apartment and a job. But we had to see this dude 56 times there, where he gets brought in, dry him out, he goes back, gets drunk, comes back in. I was 50s. You know what that guy cost us? So it's like, what's a life worth? What's a sober person worth to a community? And that's the sort of work that those angels working at the link are doing, because they are dealing with the most difficult people in this community. And they are doing incredible work. So I think that place is going to grow. I don't see behavioral health and addiction issues decreasing. I think we will be looking at we are looking at expansion. The state legislature approved some funding for us that we can use to expand that facility. So mental health will continue to be a very, very big topic in our community.
I promise to allow a question or two. We've got 4 minutes left, and we got a new president. She says we got to stay on time. So anybody have a question? Where's that guy I said you need to ask a question? Yeah. You can shout.
While the mic's walking over there, I will say that this was the easiest election I ever just saw in here. You know how easy it was to get elected? You guys just second, all in favor. I'm like, real life elections are not that easy. I wish they were. That was slick. But congratulations to the new board members.
Thank you, Doug Hayek. Mayor, the critical people in our community, the law enforcement and the kinds of people that are providing the services that you're talking about at the link, how do you, and the chief of police, et cetera, how do you assess the morale of them and their relationship with the community and the appreciation they feel for the work they do?
Great question. I will say that don't forget the people at the link. If you ever want to do something nice, stop in, give something to people at the link, send them a card. They're kind of forgotten heroes over there. Our cops overall, and I'll go to public safety. We had a Roe V Wade protest a couple weeks ago again, and I just got to say it. I mean, there's sensationalized photos that the media will use of a little girl standing next to a cop, and there's a smoke bomb, and it's just, and there were 50 bad apples, and there were 199,000 people that weren't down there screaming at the cops. So our cops get that is not indicative of the community as a whole. But I will tell you, even in great Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where law enforcement has been very much appreciated, it is freaking hard to get people to be a cop. And it's getting harder and harder. And I have a fear that, what do we happen when no one wants to be a cop? When we have 10 openings and we get 0 applicants? What happens to a community? It's a scary thought, which is why I continually just double down on back in the blue, supporting the cops, showing them appreciation, giving them leash to do their jobs, but still holding them accountable. I would say their morale there is really good. They have a great chief. The new chief, Police Chief John Toom, is an incredible dude who is a young chief, and he took that job as a young guy knowing he's probably got 10 years in the chair as a chief. That's a long tenure as a chief. So we need to wrap our arms around that guy too and make sure he feels supported and empowered. Because he mentioned El Paso. I know the mayor of El Paso, DeMargo, he just decided not to run again. He had a Walmart shooting. We don't even remember the shootings anymore, but he had a Walmart shooting a couple years ago. And those are the type of instances that all it takes for us to have a Walmart shooting today or a school shooting, and our police to be the next Uvalde chief, who everything he did is going to get questioned. He's going to be vilified. He's going to be the scapegoat for that issue or for that challenge. So I think overall we've avoided a lot of that rhetoric. So morale is good, but that doesn't happen by accident.
One more question. The man in the front row, no tie, stand up. Daggone.
Rest of the occasion. So on the topic of shootings, what is the city of Sioux Falls and police department doing to try and keep that from ever happening here?
Well, all I can say on that topic is we're doing the same things we've been doing for years. You know, we have school resource officers that we have in schools. We have cops that are trained in all kinds of de-escalation tactics and safety tactics. But I know it's not a popular narrative to say it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, there's not a lot a cop can do to prevent it. But there's a lot of reality to that, right? So there was school resource officers in some of these most recent school shootings. There's evil all around us. And so we can lock down a school and make it like Fort Knox to get into a school. And then there are Sunday schools, and there are libraries, and there are municipal pools, and there are child's play toy stores. What do you do? This is why I go back to mental health is such a huge challenge. So people want to say what's school shootings and random shootings, as much as I hate to say this, they're not really mayoral issues to solve. These are much bigger issues. We're going to do what we can. We're going to keep our SRO program going strong. We're going to keep training and educating our cops. We're going to keep investing in these mental health programs. But to say it's not the number one issue that keeps me up at night would be a lie, because it worries me a lot. And I see Regan Smith is here. Regan's our emergency response manager. We've set up an emergency operations center many times the last 4 years. We haven't ever had to for that. And I hope we never have to.
All right, it just would be appropriate if we finish family. If you're okay, introduce your parents who are here on a very special occasion. They're right back there. I can see them. And it's a big deal for them today, and you'd better mention it. Is that okay back there? I have to go to church with her.
Okay.
Do you have one last question for the mayor? We'll put some good love on this first.
Well, I'll tell you, the question I'm going to ask him is going to be at the fair in July or August when we get all the ag people together, and we'll talk about it then. How would that be?
Deal. Sounds good.
Well, Bill, thank you for bringing it all to light for me and bringing it full circle. My parents are here, Steve and Patty Boyle. My work family is also here, Rika, Casey, and Jordan, I don't know if any of us can do what we do in our lives without love, and that table has got a lot of love coming at them and coming from them, so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be a part of this amazing club. I don't know the moment that I went from being a member of Downtown Rotary to being a Rotarian, but I'm awfully proud that I am. And I'm proud to share that with all of you. And I look forward to seeing you Monday after Monday after Monday.
You've got something from your mom. Didn't she have a tie in the family to Rotary? You'd better mention that. Hey, got to help
Bill
her
does
sometime.
not get to moderate ever again. My grandfather helped start the Rotary Club in the community that they grew up in. And to this day, the exchange student that came from Australia through Rotary Exchange is a part of our family's life. So Rotary is something that I've never not known. I just get to know it in a whole new way. So with that, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone here, thank you.
Good job. Thanks, buddy.
Please join us next week as we have a conversation about the evolution of cancer therapies. Happy Monday. Rotary is adjourned.
Good job, Perez.